Hello, everyone. This is Yoshi Pantera from the Regenerative Culture Podcast with our special guest once again, Victor Vorsky, based in Portugal, with two really amazing regenerative projects called The Gathering of Tribes and Coherence. We're going to talk about this since last time when the first Gathering of Tribes was being held in 2022 and the last one in 2024, happening every 2 years. But we're going to talk more about what's happening around the world with the Gathering of Tribes. So yeah, stay tuned, and if you have any questions, let us know and we get right back to you. So Victor, thank you again for being with us here today.
Yeah, thank you. By the way, we rebranded just to make it simpler, just the gathering now.
Okay, nice. So
Definitely bringing together different tribes, by which we mean organizations, communities. It's there in the spirit. Our spirit hasn't changed. But it's important when you name things and you communicate to make it simple so people's different mental models are so you can flow with people's mental models rather than flow against them. And yeah, it's just the gathering now.
perfect. It's good to know. The gathering is really important because bringing different regenerative projects, regenerative organizations, regenerative tribes come into one place and understand and unfold the power of regeneration that's happening worldwide, even if for some people that don't know that they're practicing some type of regenerative movement, but they are in the movement in ways that help make this world a better place, help humanity become more conscious of itself and just live in harmony with all life, right? So talk to us a little bit about what is the gathering and how does it function? What makes this gathering unique and special, different from the rest of the festivals, events, conferences around the world?
Yeah, so as you said, I love how you hinted a key part of the gathering is to bring together people and organizations from across many different movements working. And I've been struggling to find this embracing term which can bring in everybody that's working to bring a better world and to even figure out what a better world could be, right? So there is systems change. There's movements like circular economy or the movement working to reinvent education and learning that's been going for 100 years, self-directed learning and other things. And they don't use the word regeneration, but for me, they're an absolutely integral part of building a better reality. You know, there's the game B people. There's so many different vocabularies out there. The gathering really hopes to create a place where they can come together and come into dialogue. A quick way that I describe the gathering is as a intersection of a festival or Burning Man, a conference, and a trade show. And what I mean by that, the gathering is it's very much a place to come celebrate. It's co-created like Burning Man. We borrow the idea of camps, definitely a no spectators event. However, unlike Burning Man, it's not just about having a good time or even just personal transformation. It's about building the ecosystem. So, like in a trade show, it's for organizations, communities. You know, for me, any kind of group of people that says we are part of XYZ and we're here together to represent XYZ, great. XYZ is a tribe and you're welcome to the gathering. It's not for me to decide whether you are or aren't an organization. If a bunch of people identify and they want to show up and represent XYZ, welcome XYZ. Uh, because we're seeing this, right, very much online. There's so many different forms, like some WhatsApp groups have a deep identity, have been going for decades, and people identify as being part of that tribe, right? There's no legal company or formal thing. So creating a space where organizations can come and represent themselves. By this, I mean, yes, show what products you sell, but also bring what questions you have, right? I sometimes pitch the gathering as a 500-person regenerative think tank. You know, what are you going to bring? Bring your challenges, bring your questions. That's how you'll get real value, right? It can be a great place for communities that are trying to grow, to find members, right? Come represent, invite people, show what you're about, or searching for team members or partners. I have a friend who's a regenerative designer. I think this year, every single client that he has, he met in one way or another through the gathering, right? So I think, and then from the conference, the sharing of ideas, meeting people, connecting, right? But connecting in a deeper, more meaningful way. So like a festival, the gathering is outdoors. We're together in a space for 5 to 7 days. So we have that time to be together in nature. Like in a festival, if you get tired, you can go and be alone with a tree. You can adjust how much intense your level of humans is. You can have, because there's camps, you can have a more smaller group human experience, right? These are the people you're going on the journey. Or you can go and walk around, go to other camps and have a, I'm flying around experience, right? So we're really trying to use that as an ability to grow in size while still retaining the human experience, right? And everybody at the gathering belongs to one camp or another. For those who can't make up their mind, we made the butterfly camp. So those are the people who couldn't make up with their mind which camp they joined. They're still part of a camp. Yeah, trying to really take the best from all of those formats, looking at it through the lens of our times. The tagline is connect for action, right? So how do we create an event which is, yes, a wonderful chance to meet your friends, yes, a chance to celebrate, yes, a chance to learn some things, but also which leads us to doing stuff together, right? And this could be anything: building communities, companies, projects, doing business, hiring each other, any kind of, things that help build up, right, this regenerative ecosystem of collaboration. That's the vision of the gathering, to catalyze the regenerative ecosystem of collaboration.
Awesome. I was just gonna highlight that action in terms of coming together for action is like I was reading some of your content and the website is a focus on non-spectator invitations to people that want to come and take action in any shape or form, in which when we come together at an event like this, a festival, conference, or retreat or something, well, whatever we want to call it, be surrounded by like-minded folks and finding ways how to go into the deep relationship and get excited about it and then collaborate, right? Because like, oh, wow, we can collaborate so easily on this. We have a similar vision, or we already doing this. And one thing we were talking about also backstage, right, before this moment of interview, is there's so many people doing very similar projects or similar enough that it feels just reasonable to come together and work together. And sometimes we're afraid of that as humans because we sometimes don't know how to work together, how to share something or collaborate. So coming to these experiences helps improve that. And especially nowadays, where even though I want to highlight, even though it won't work in the first time you work with somebody, or you work with 2 or 3 people and it didn't work out, don't stop trying. Don't, like, just because you went through 3 different experiences that didn't work out to collaborate, it's because we're still learning how, we're remembering how, because we're afraid of like, I just prefer to work on myself and do the whole thing on my own. And now they're talking about doing a 1-person multi-billion-dollar business with just using AI agents. It's like, it's not about working by yourself. It's about the one of the most beautiful things about humanity is to have relationships with each other and create together with others. So let's not be driven with the idea like, I'm going to create a multi-billion-dollar or any type of project on my own, so you can have all the credit and all the ego feeding energy I just want to highlight that because it's important to realize that there's so much abundance and a lot of thriving opportunity by collaboration, not only for all of us, but individually, so we can get to know ourselves a little more just by sharing time with people. And this platform, this space of the gathering helps this happen. And I'm so happy it's being produced now 2 years, two times every 2 years. So 2022, the first one, 2024. I remember when we first met, when you were starting, and then we found each other in one of the festivals in Texas. We ran to each other, and that was nice that we went a little deeper on the whole experience. And you were telling me that you were going to do the next 2024 gathering in Portugal, both of them. Now, tell me a little more about what's happening around the world. I know it's spreading out, and so I'm excited because I'm going to be part of it as well. So, yeah, talk to us about what's the plan with the gathering now.
Yeah, so the vision, by the way, the bigger vision of the gathering is always to do an exit to community. So I said when I started in 2022, I'm going to steward this for 10 years because a baby doesn't need a parent to guide it along. But my goal is in 2032 to exit the community, to create a structure where the gathering belongs to everybody. And I was always hoping to do it, spread it globally. I didn't think it would be so quick. But after last year in Portugal, it feels like we have a good sense of the format. And some people reached out and they were interested in wanting to do it. So I said, sure, yes. And this year we're inviting the gathering in Czechia, Czech Republic, end of August, in Mexico in November, and in Guatemala in December. So, and for 2026, we will send many more invitations, and we are inviting leaders everywhere to who would like to take up the mantle. It's a open but supported format in the sense that we support everybody who organizes a gathering is independent and is doing their own festival, but they are supported with our know-how, with the brand templates, and we have a kind of an incubator program for people who want to organize the gathering. So I think it's a really interesting and worthwhile format. And because it's fully co-created, right? The gathering is less a book, more a notebook, right? A notebook and pen, which you get to fill with what you want. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it will scale and change and morph depending on the local realities in different countries that it is manifested.
Cool. So just to have it clear for some leaders out there, organizers of events and retreats, the gathering is a great opportunity to bring together different festivals and different conferences and different organizations, events into one space. So in that sense, for example, in Burning Man, there's different camps with different productions happening within one space. So the gathering basically will help create the infrastructure. So for those leaders and organizers, you won't have to do all the work on your own. So it's a collaboration, an action taking movement for creating this experience for all of us to benefit. And same ways goes with the finances. So we can all put together different, just have clarity and transparency with the finances, where all the finances can be distributed afterwards to the productions that were happening in the infrastructure as well. So I think it's a great model. I think it's already being successful with the first two of them, and inspiring other leaders around the world to make that happen. Myself, I'm interested to do it as well in the U.S. in Florida, where we actually have been doing our retreats as well as connected to other festivals and producers. So we can see it happening there as well. And we're thinking about November 2026. We're still just talking about it, so don't want to create too much expectation. But definitely, it's what I'm very excited about, and it's so possible. So we're definitely going to keep you updated on that. And yeah, I appreciate everything that's happening with the gathering here in the movement of the world. It's very needed at this time. And not only, this is a highlight, it doesn't have to be only online, right? There's so many great ways to communicate worldwide online, but this is a great way to communicate physically with each other. So different people from different parts of the world can come together, already know about the movement, and have the physical experience. Let us bring that more. Let's just prioritize the physical encounter, the physical gathering, the communication, the touch, with respect. No, we need more of this living experience more than just being online. Right now, I'm in Ecuador. You're in Portugal, so we're very far away, and that's the beauty of connecting, but with the purpose to build something in the physical form. So that's the way to go, I believe, and I feel, and I'm so happy about. So yeah, thank you, Victor, for sharing about the gathering. Is there anything else about the gathering before I want to?
Yeah, I mean, maybe as a last thought and image to leave with people. So, the amazing things about festivals, because we're in an enclosed space, everybody's there because they chose to be there, right? We have the opportunity to experiment with creating culture, right? This is everybody that's in the bubble, right? So, for 5 days, for 7 days, we can create the culture that we dream of, right? So, what is the culture that we dream of? If we can live our perfect life, the perfect relationships for a week, what is that? And that's the invitation of the gathering. Come and bring what you dream a perfect 7 days of regenerative culture life would be.
Yes, I was just going to highlight that to close this section, to help regenerate our cultures. We have our cultures from different parts of the world, different people bringing their heritage, their traditions, as well as how we want to improve certain aspects of our lives. Our habits are not participating with the conventional destructive system, but actually creating new systems that help regenerate our lives. And culture, again, is music, clothing, food, our expression of art, and also our systems of how we exchange goods and services, our economy, our governance
Exactly.
system, our technology. All these areas are so important that we have to reevaluate and start practicing new systems. And this is a great space in order to make that happen. So I'm so happy and excited to be part of this movement. And yeah, I can't wait to yeah, be in person and make all this happen. So thank you for sharing that as well. We're aligned.
I love it. 2026 Florida, looking forward to it.
Yay. So yeah, and this is related to your other newest project you've been working on the last few months, coherence. And this is a word that I also highlight a lot in our lives. And I just wrote a article about it, coherence. What does that mean? And how would you describe coherence, and how is that related to your new project coming up?
So, as you can tell, I like to experiment with formats, how to bring people together, because that's exactly what the gathering is, experimenting of a new way of how do we come together in person. And coherence is an experiment of how do we come together online. Because if you think about it, any new technology that we get, the first thing that we do is we do the same thing we've been doing until now, just digital, right? I don't know if you still remember, it probably still happens sometimes. I emailed you the PDF of this contract. Can you please print it out, sign it, scan it, and email it back to me? Which is like, okay, it's better than sending it by mail, but that's not a digital workflow, right? And now we have the in between. Here's the PDF. You click online to fake a written and it's like, it's still kind of crazy. That's not what a digital signature is, right? Because we haven't figured out how to create. And similarly with how we gather online, right? We're like, we know a conference, one person speaks, everybody else listens. So we'll do a conference online, one person speaks, everybody. And I'm like, just send me the YouTube link. I'll watch it when it's convenient for me. Why are we doing this synchronously? Like, what sense does it make to bring a couple tens or hundreds of people together synchronously to listen to one person speak? It just makes no sense, right? But that's the format that we know. So this is what we started with. But online, right, in a physical conference, like, okay, everybody talk to everybody else, 1,000 people in a room, everybody, like, that won't work, right? Even just at a basic sound level, let alone coordination and all of this. But online, it's entirely possible. We can have 1,000 people over a month talk to each other. Everybody has 2 or 3 conversations. We have 3,000 hours of video. And then you're like, okay, but nobody's going to watch that. Aha, but AI would love that, because AI needs to understand us, and it needs this feedstock, right? So can we use AI can we create an environment where we bring a bunch of practitioners and everybody has a conversation with everybody else, and all of those are interested, right? Because we brought interesting people together. Every time I go to a conference, I look around the room, there's 100 people. I'm like, these are all interesting people. Why do I only get to listen to this one person on stage, and only listen? I can't even talk to them, right? I'd much rather be having conversations with these people. Right. So coherence is the ability to create that and integrate AI in such a way that you can find the conversations which are interesting you, or the parts of the conversations of, based on your profile, based on the conversations you've had, should you be talking to? Who's doing what you said earlier, right? Who's doing similar projects, right? Who's doing projects that could be aligned and somehow integrate with yours? So that's the idea. And we're building an app and doing a coherence conference around wise AI and conscious collaboration. You can think of it as building the OS for a regenerative society, a regenerative economy. I could talk much more about that. There is more and more ideas. But the idea is to create coherence as an app. And I think it can be very useful for many use cases. For example, I'm proposing that every gathering has a coherence of participants before. So before coming to the gathering, you have 1, 2, 3 conversations with other people that are going there. And that already starts building and all of these conversations are published online, by the way. So maybe an easy way of thinking of it is, here's a podcast, kind of formal, organized, produced. Here's a private conversation of 2 people online somewhere. Great, but only they get to benefit. This is in the middle. So we take the conversations. Another way of describing it would be ecosystemic build in public. I'm curious, have you heard of this, the term build in public?
Not really, no.
It's interesting. It's worth knowing, because actually for me, the only way to build regenerative organizations is build in public. It comes from the startup space, and it's basically what it says. So that you're sharing your journey. And of course, sharing your journey doesn't mean like, oh, look how great I am. These are the things that I achieved this week. But also like, oh, shit, I'm struggling with this. Or, oh, I fucked that up. Or like, I don't know how to do this, right? It's not a journey if it doesn't have ups and downs. Would be the most boring story, right? The hero saw the dragon. The hero slayed the dragon. The hero went back home. Like, right? That's not a hero's journey. So similarly, build in public is sharing the whole thing. So you could think of coherence as ecosystem scale build in public.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. And I think that's beautiful. And yeah, that's so powerful to complement with the online platform where it's happening and people can already engage with each other and online or offline with the gathering. So they go on both ways, and this can happen in many ways. So the more we are aware of this, we can take action in the sense that, okay, if I'm online, how am I supporting and talking, having conversations with others in the projects that are aligned with each other, as well as in person, to find ways also how to create a relationship, have conversations, and collaborate in that way. So this is perfect. So I'm so happy that you're working on that as well. So yeah, I appreciate what you're doing, in the sense that it's needed nowadays in the world, and it's good timing. Us also, in a way, and this is something we spoke about, like we're kind of doing something similar, and we're doing regenerative leadership platform, and so we can also come together with different leaders that might be doing something similar, and also help collaborate, and then the upcoming leaders can engage with us, and we can share and be providing different tools, resources, some experiences, wisdom, of course, that the challenges and the learning experiences and the opportunities that we have gone through, which is also needed. So people don't have to do, we don't have to be doing things on our own. I personally have taken so long doing things on my own, not knowing how to connect with other people that are like-minded, right? Especially 15 years ago, we didn't even know about these things at that time, and things have been evolving so fast in the last few 5 years, I would say, that is like, whoa, there's so much information now. How can I focus? What can I do? And how, who do I connect with? So this is all very important. So thank you, Victor, for sharing all this information about the gathering, Coherence. Thank you for taking action with different communities, tribes, movements that help expand and create this new world, recreate it, and also help ourselves in humanity heal, creating this just beautiful life that we once were living, but we have forgotten, and now we are in this regenerative aspect. And so, yes, this word is very important. It could be very popular nowadays, regeneration, but let's make it normal, right? Let's make it part of it. We don't have to be using the word regeneration if we already are consistently regenerating. It's part of our lives. So yeah, any last words, hermano, that you want to share to the people?
Let's gather, let's cohere, let's come together. And I think also let's find ways to come together in difference, not search for the one truth, but find ways where we can align and connect on the things that we align and connect, and respect the things that we differ on.
Yes, that's important. So the more diversity on perspectives of things helps us grow more. So diversity is always good, and then we learn how to respect and honor our differences is very important as well. So that's, thank you for highlighting that. What is your website address and your social media? We can contact you.
I mean, I guess you'll include the links. It's d-gathering.earth and coherence.tv.
Perfect. All right, hermano. Thank you so much for connecting. This is Regenerative Culture Podcast on regenerativeculture.life. And I'll see you guys next time. Stay connected. Appreciate you all. Peace, love, and prosperity. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Hey, just ended the recording.